Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So we know emerging markets in tennis rackets is the 98 square inch head. But what about declining markets? Which rackets are currently out of favor? Well, we're going to talk about that today. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So which rackets in today's market are, let's say, no longer popular? In the last 10 years, there's been kind of a revival in slightly smaller rackets. There was a peak, though, of big rackets in the last, I would say, about 10 years ago. And it's kind of slowly declined in the last, 10 years, let's say, in which some of these rackets almost don't exist anymore. So what am I talking about? Well, let's grab my coffee first and let's make the coffee in this cup decline into my stomach first. If you want to support the channel, buy my merch. TennisSpinUSA.com is the website. You want to contribute to my black coffee. This is Sumatra today. They've been doing Sumatra for 2 weeks, actually 3 weeks now at Pete's, which I don't mind. It's my Pete's and Joy for the holidays. If you want to contribute to that, it's Buy Me a Coffee is the network /Tennis Spin. Thank you in advance. So, declining markets. A racket like this, which is Kevin Anderson endorsed CX200 Tour, 18 by 20. All of that is fine, but 95 square inches is what we're talking about declining. So I feel like 98 is the sweet spot in most of the players, college players rackets. Anything smaller aside from maybe the Fed, which is 97, or the regular Pro Staff at 97, manufacturers aren't really thinking too much about anymore. I mean, I remember when 95 was the industry standard, Pro Staff Classic. I mean, everything was made in a 95. Yeah, everything was made in a 95. But if you think about it, almost nothing is made in a 95 now. It would be extremely hard to find unless you're looking at the used racket market, because, people think, man, that's a small head. Man, that's hard to play with. Man, I can't hit the sweet spot. People are lazy, people are, they're used to easier power. They're used to a slightly bigger head. They're used to more maneuverability. So they're going 98, lighter head, faster swing speed. So that's probably due to the evolution of kind of the modern forehand too. I mean, unless you're super good, play on clay, swing through the ball, 95 probably not going to work very much for you in the States here on a hard surface, because you really have to be of that type of player, which is a good player, and definitely have pretty clean strokes. So 95 market is, I don't know if it'll ever come back. I mean, I hope it does, because it brings back a lot of fond memories for me, but there aren't many on the market left. I mean, aside from this thing. Even Head killed that Prestige in that new Prestige launch in the mid. But that comes and goes. So depending upon demand, it may come back in a season or two change of the Prestige. But aside from that, I think this is the only one. Yonex. The Yonex E-Zone 95 is the other one. That's the other 95 made that I can think of. Now, guys, we got Bubba here. Big Bubba. This was surprisingly this is actually the best racket Gamma has ever, well, I don't want to say ever sold. They sold the most of these out of the history of the company. And I mean, a couple pros that were on the tour, Matt Seeberger, actually used this. And they kind of put it on the map. The thing is actually only 10 ounces. It's actually less than 10 ounces strung. But all the weight is in the head. It's 2 inches longer on a 137 square inch head. A lot of power. A lot of sweet spot. You have to adjust your swing to basically get this racket around. At 10 ounces, all the weight is in the head. But so many people in the last 10 years have used it. And I was like, I can't believe the people that were using it. I mean, you had your pro level player, you had 5.5, 5.0s, which are, pretty advanced level players using it. And then it kind of gravitated down to the 4.5s, 4.0s. I mean, it was meant for the 3.5, 4.0 player that was recreational doubles. Maybe a 3.0 player, even if you're of that age. But I mean, I was surprised at how many people actually switched to this. And actually, I was surprised at how well it played for being this big of a head. Club level players were using this left and right. Ladies were using this left and right. I was like, is she using that? I can't believe she's using that. But as of today, I only know one person that uses it. So definitely a declining market. It kind of went out of favor. People are leaving this type of racket for, arrows, clashes, pure drives, more of a standard 100 that is definitely going to be less powerful, more maneuverable. And I did hear something about this causing some tennis elbow out there, just because it's just unwieldy, because you do have to shorten up your swing to play with something like this. So I feel like the big racket market kind of ends at the 115 mark. Anything over that is kind of on the decline. Even the 150 market is kind of on the decline. So anything over smaller, like 95 and under, 96 and under really, and anything over 115 is kind of, losing ground. It's in that like 198 to 108 is the sweet spot. Everything else is kind of on the down slope. All right. So if you're part of this market and generation, get them while you can. If you love this Bubba, get them while you can. Okay. They made a 117 too. That's smaller and a little more controllable, but get these rackets while you can, because they may not be around in a year. All right. So that's the declining markets of tennis rackets. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.